What's going on, CSR2 users? Today we're going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of the basics of how to use the game. I notice a lot of times in my personal global chat, a lot of people be asking questions about the game on how do you do this and how you do that. So I decided to do a quick little walkthrough so that way you can take a look and be able to see for yourself with a video showing you how to do these things in the game. So first thing we're going to take a look at is on your main screen. As soon as your garage loads up, you have a wide variety of information over here that you can be able to take a look at. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is going to be in your upper left hand corner. You're going to have your little calendar icon. When you click on that, that feature pops open, Jerry's Daily Bonus. And depending upon where you're at in the calendar month, you're going to be able to click on it and be able to see what Jerry's Daily Bonus is and where you stand at. Now, just as a little FYI, if you miss a day on Jerry's Daily Bonus, in the bottom right hand corner is going to start to put a little red line across that and take away your access to those prizes. So every time you miss one, you're going to start losing some of the better prizes. So the first one that you lose will be 3 gold keys, and then 30,000 crew RP, and so forth and so on. So you go ahead and click the little red X in the upper right hand corner. Now you take a look on the top, you have your fuel gauge. My fuel gauge currently is full. So it has all these little light color green icons that's in the upper left hand corner right next to the back button. And then next to that, you're going to have the image that recognizes the make of the car. So in this, the manufacturer of the car, in this case, this is a Bugatti. And then you're going to have the make of the car, which in this case is the Chiron CSR2 red car. And this one in particular looks different because it has the Elite license on it. So right to below where it says the Chiron red in red, the CSR2 in red, you're going to have two digits, two sets of numbers. The first number that's actually in white is going to be your PP value. You will actually adjust these values up and down based off of the upgrades that you have in your car. Sometimes when you add different fusions, as you add more onto your car, it can actually increase the value of your PP as well. But typically it's going to be based off of upgrades. So the more upgrades you have on your car, the more PP value your car will be able to receive until you're fully maxed out. The EV value in this particular case is plus 1171 is going to be the value that's adjusted inside the tuning screen. So this font here is going to be the same color. It's going to be the little light color green, unless you go negative, in which it turns to a reddish color. Now, right to the very right of that, you're going to see what's currently 5 purple stars. That lets you know the rarity value on there. So the star values are going to be either no star value, it's going to be purple, or it's going to be gold. Now, when they're purple, you get more fusions on top of that, as well as you get additional values associated with that. So for example, each star gets you an additional 3 percentage points of rarity bonus added to it. So in this case, since there's 5 purple stars plus is purple, that gets you 18% rare bonus on it. If you have 5 stars, it's going to be 15. Now, if you take a look over here to the right of that, you're going to see where it says your rank, and up above that is going to rotate back and forth. So right now it's currently showing my current RP that I have in the game, and then it's going to turn around and flick back and forth, with showing you what your rarity percentage point and your elite values is associated with that. So if you click that little arrow that's popping down right there, it's going to give you all the details on it. So in my particular case, I get a crew bonus of 20%. The rare car is 18%. That's 3 percentage points for each star, plus an additional 3 percentage points for the purple stars. Now I get an elite bonus on it of 10%, and I get a freshness of 10%. Since this car has additional star value to it, there's permanent freshness associated with it, so I can't change anything with this car. So the interior, the calipers, the livery, and the paint is all fixed on this car. So every time this car is out, it's going to be the exact same. Now, one thing you may notice is that right below wildcard to the left of it has a little eye icon with a little arrow down on it. If you click on that, you get a little bit of information about that. So it tells you no active wildcard RP bonuses currently going on. So that means that my crew currently do not have a wildcard going. So that's the information that shows up on that screen. So to the right of that, up above, you're going to see that I have $15,564,055 in in-game cash. Right below that, it shows that I have 31,736 gold coins. And to the right of that, this is your plus gold icon. This gets you into the screen so that you can buy additional perks to add into the game. So for example, when you click on that right now, you see that the gold, each of the values that show up here, this is the value of 300 gold coins for $2.99, and so forth and so on to 16,500 for $99.99. Now, anything that you purchase inside the game is going to be applicable to any type of local taxes that you have. Since I'm based in the United States, I got my own local taxes that I pay. If you're watching this video anywhere across the country, you're going to have your local taxes. If you're international, you're going to have those taxes associated with it. So you click on the cash tab, and you get basically the same thing that occurs there. For 15,000 cash inside the game, you get $2.99 that you spend on up to $1 million for $99.99. Keys are pretty valuable. They have a wide variety of uses of the keys. So in this particular case, you can get bronze keys, 600 of them for $4.99. You can get 1,250 of them for $9.99. On up to the gold keys, where you get 125 of them for $99.99, or you can get 22 of them for $19.99. Silver, 175 for $8.99, or silver 410 for $19.99. Now, how these keys are used: when you're dealing with bronze keys, every pull of your crate gets you 100 bronze keys. Every pull of the silver crate takes you 50 keys, and every pull of the gold crate gets you 10 keys. So in essence, when you look at the bronze, you get 6 pulls for $4.99. For the silver, you get 3 pulls for $8.99, and for the gold, you get 2 pulls for $19.99. And the same numbers factor in with the lower price values. You get a total of 12 pulls. You get an additional 5 keys that you don't have there available to use until you get 5 more. Same thing with 22. You get 2 pulls, but you got 2 extra keys. For the 410, that's going to be 8 pulls with 10 additional keys. And for the 1,250, that's 12 pulls with an additional 50 keys. Now, from time to time, Natural Motion does provide you offers. So this will be here from time to time. But when it's not there, there's no offers available to you, because the offers come in based off of your own in-game statistics. This information will show up. If there's nothing there, you don't qualify for any of the offers that they can offer you. But right now, they got specials going on for the Fast and the Furious cars. So this offer pops up. You get 2 million cash, 1,100 gold coins for $19.99. You get to save 90% off of that. So if you're looking to get a come up on some of this cash or some of these gold coins, this seems like a pretty good value. But this is related to the Fast and the Furious. If you do not own the Fast and Furious cars, they give you offers on the different cars so you can buy them. Currently, I own all of the cars, so I don't have that offer, but I've seen screenshots online of people sharing that offer for people who didn't purchase it. So now we're going to go ahead and hit the back button. Now on the left hand side of the screen, you have a little arrow that points out. When you click on that, it expands the slider where you get more information. Now the first thing that I have set up on here is the little person icon at the top. That's for my leaderboard. That shows you what my personal leaderboard is. It shows you what RP that person has at the very top, and it goes all the way down to 10. Now after it gets to 10, you're only going to see so many above you and so many below you if you're not in the top 10. So in this particular case, I'm currently ranked 41, so I get to see 5 people below me and 5 people above me. Now as I start to accumulate more points, get closer to the 62,000 range, I'll get to be able to see the top 10 plus wherever I'm at. Now you can also click on the profile section and get to see your own personal stats and information based off of your in-game play. Good information shows up in there, the number of races that you've won versus the number of races that you've raced. It shows you how much money you accumulated in the game over time, and also shows you how much time you spent in the garage, how much time you spent outside playing the game in general. Next to the left, you're going to see your goals tab. The goals pop up with different goals for you to achieve based off of different things that you actually do in the game. So based off of that, you can turn around and get goals for regulation races, goals for upgrading your car, goals for perfect launch. You can go goals for racing so many miles in a day. There's a wide variety of goals that you can be able to reach to achieve more in-game perks. Now, one of the cool things I have recognized with the goals is you actually can get cash, you can get fusion parts, but you also can get gold coins. So it's pretty important to take a look at those goals from time to time and make sure that you achieve those so that you can knock out the current ones you have and achieve more goals so you can get more of those free in-game perks. Now, another thing that I always see a lot of people do is that they ask questions about the game because they're not familiar about different things. And it's perfectly fine to go into global chat and ask questions, but you can also spend some time doing some research on your own. So one of the things I like to do is click on the little settings icon. And once I click on there, you can scroll on up to where it says support and click on that. Now, there's two different things you'll do in here. One, you'll look through the list and see what type of announcements that they currently have or hot topics or anything that may fit questions that you may have. But you also have the option to hit contact us. And when you hit that, it basically asks you to put in some information, namely your name and your email address. And then it allows you to type a problem to Natural Emotion Support Team. And it allows you to include images or screenshots to help them be able to figure out what your problem is. So currently, right now, I'm actually impacted by one of the hot topics. And one of the hot topics is, why am I losing fusion parts after updating to 1.15? And the response is, update on December 6th. Good news. We have found the cause of this issue and we'll be releasing an update to fix it as soon as possible. In the meantime, we have found a workaround that will stop you losing any parts. If you complete a race where you have to lock in cars in the Fast and Furious event, you should then immediately do a regulation race afterwards before continuing to play as normal. Please note that you'll be automatically credited with your missing parts, so there's no need to get in touch. However, in order to receive your missing parts, you must have downloaded our forthcoming update. Parts will be credited to affected players in the days after the update is released. The original message, we are aware that some players are losing Fusion or Stage 6 parts after downloading 1.15 update. We are working to fix this issue as soon as possible. In the meantime, if this has happened to you, please contact our support team with as much information as possible, including the cars that were affected, the parts that are missing, the approximate time and date you first noticed that the parts were missing, and any screenshots that you have previous to setup. So I was able to do this. I had several cars that I was impacted by this. I sent screenshots, I sent information, and they was able to come up with this update. So now this is a cool tip for you guys. So if you lock in a car for the Fast and Furious event, do a regulation race immediately afterwards. That way you can go ahead and keep your parts on your car. But whenever this update comes out, you need to download it immediately. This is very helpful information, so anytime you have any problems with the game, you click on over there and take a look inside the game. Now they also have a website on the internet that you can look at to read this very same information that goes on. So it's pretty cool that you can be able to get some help inside the game. And this way you're getting more official information. So feel free to ask Global, feel free to jump on YouTube, get on Twitter, Facebook, but also take a look at their self-help section that they have there, and also to report issues. Now, continuing on with the walkthrough, on the upper right hand corner, right below the go, but now because I'm on an Apple device, I have Augmented Reality available to me. So I can click on this icon, a screen will pop up, and the screen pops up giving me options on what I can do. I can choose to be able to do a real world example of the car, or I can do a model scale. Since I'm not showing my camera right now, I'm not going to be able to do this demonstration to you, but there's other YouTube videos out there that people have it, and at some point in time I'll be able to do one as well, just not at this moment. So once you go back on here, right below that icon where it has the 9 white boxes at, when you click on that, that's going to pop you up to show you your garages. Now, you can now rename your garages from the screen. Just simply tap over there where it has the little pencil icon, and a screen pops up, rename the garage. You hit OK, the name shows up, or you hit cancel and it stays the same. You can scroll to the left and see the garage before that. Scroll to the right to go back to that garage, or to the right to go back to the new garage. At the bottom, you can click reorder. Now, one of the weird things I don't like about this is By clicking on reorder, you can reorder your garage, but when you slide cars around, a car from the current garage goes into the previous garage that you're at. So if I was to slide this first car here, the Tier 4 Camaro Z28 to the left, it'll take a car out of that garage and put it over into this garage in exchange. But you don't have to press the reorder button. You can just tap and hold down on the picture and it'll allow you to reorder from that way. I'm not the biggest fan of this because a lot of times I'll be trying to scroll over or trying to select a car and it pops up the reorder screen instead. Now if I want to strip a car, you get the strip icon. When you do that, typically you don't get a lot of money when you strip the car, but if you have any stage 6 upgrades or if you have any fusions on the car, you're going to have to spend gold to strip those off. So just to give you an example of what this cost may be, right now I have the Camaro Z28 selected. When I hit the strip button, it says, seriously, after all you done to do this car? Oh, it's still on the Chiron red. So actually it's an elite car, so I can't do that. So I'll do this car here. This is a Tier 5 Continental GT Speed. So now it pops up. This car has 102 fusion, 7 stage 6 parts fitted. The cost to strip the car and remove the parts will be $100,000 and 15,980 gold coins. So it can be pretty expensive as you start to upgrade your cars in order to get them stripped on off. The next button next to that is going to be to sell your car. So if I wanted to sell the car, you can sell it and get $50,800. Now the difference between selling your car and stripping your car is that when you strip the car, you pay money and you can get parts back from it. When you sell the car, you get a very low cash value back for it. Now I'm going to quickly go back. We're going to look at this car, and as you can see here, I have 42 upgrades on there out of a total 42. I have 102 out of a total of 110. So back to the screen, down at the bottom you have your inventory button. So you can get to your inventory from this screen, but you can also get into your inventory from pressing the little I button in the bottom right hand corner. Now when you press the inventory button, it's going to take you to the screen where you can see where all your fusion parts and where all your stage 6 upgrades are located at. Now one little tip and tidbit about this is, once you go into the screen like I've gone into it now, it said that previously I had, I believe, 108 icons that was there, or 108 parts that was there. So of the fusions, I have 100 of them that are fusions, whether they be uncommon, which are green, rare, which is blue, or the red ones, which is your epic fusions. But then I also have 8 stage 6s. Now in order to see the stage 6s, I click over there and I can see what manufacturers. But before the icon showed me I had 100 plus. Now when I hit the back button, now the icon shows that I only have 8 parts that's there. And that's because the stage 6 upgrades never go away until you actually click on them and see what they are. So when you click on stage 6, we go to Audi as this example. Now the Liberty RS5 Coupe has the little icon on it right there on the right hand side. I click on that and you can see it offers me the option to sell it. Now it's gone away. So now at this point in time, when we go back on the screen, because we didn't select the other stage 6 upgrades, they're all cleared out because we clicked on stage 6. One of the things it used to do was, until you actually clicked on your manufacturer, you never actually got a chance to see, get rid of all those stage 6 upgrades. Now we're going to go ahead and do a review of the bottom. So the first one we're going to review on the bottom is going to be buy cars. So this is where you can go to actually see all the cars that come into the game, as well as all the cars that are available for you to purchase. So the cars are broken down in 2 different formats. You can look at cars based off of tiers, and you can also look at cars based off of manufacturers. So if you're looking to buy a car and you know that you need to get a tier 1 or a tier 2 or a tier 3 or tier 4 or tier 5, then you can click just on there and look only at those. If you just want to scroll and see the cars that are available, you can click on the individual one. This particular time I clicked on the 70th anniversary Ferrari event. And now we can look at the cars. Now I'm going to go click on the Hyundai. Hyundai only has one car in the game, and that's going to be this. It's going to be the Veloster Turbo R Spec. Now one of the things you can do when you go in here, you can customize your rims. This particular car only has one rim in it, so you cannot change it. Your interior, it only has one interior on it, so you're not able to change that either. Now you can click over here on paint. We have an assortment of paint. So for pearlescent, we only have one. When you look at other, there's one. And when we look at metallic, there's two. So you select whichever one of those that you want. You click on calipers. There's only one. You hit select. Now to buy this car is only available through a gold coin purchase. In this particular case, 150. Some cars actually are available with gold coin purchase or with cash purchase. So for example, we're going to take a look at, there we go, tap it on the screen and different things happen. So this screen always resets back to the beginning, so no matter what you click on. So we'll take a look at the Abarth here. The Abarth can be purchased with cash for $28,500 or with gold for 120 gold coins. So when you look at these cars, when you're buying them with cash or gold, you have to keep in mind these cars have no associated rarity values with them. So they have no stars on them. So the maximum amount of points you're going to be able to get out of this car is going to be based off of putting onto it customization. And with customization, you have to do 3 of the 4 in order to get the full 10% customization out of it. Now, because it has no rarity stars on it, you don't get any additional bonus for that. So show you an example of cars that have additional stars on it. We'll look at the Honda. So the first one we're going to look at here is going to be the new the Civic Type R. The Civic Type R is a tier 2 car and it's worth 3 stars. When we look at the Civic 1.5 VTEC, it's a tier 1 car with 2 stars. And if we click at the last one, the Acura, also known as the Honda NSX, it is a tier 4 car and it has 4 stars on it. Now, one thing you may have noticed, it has green for the tier 4. It has kind of a brown color for the tier 2, and it has red for the tier 1. That's up in the upper left hand corner. But the little light color gray is going to be for tier 5, and blue is going to be for the tier 3. You can also see these colors displayed right here where it says T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. Based on your language, it may be different values there. I've seen K as well. Now the next level of cars here is you get cars that's going to be based off of win only. Win only is what the former usage of the word was. Now it's going to be rare imports. So, like for example, this is the new Liberty. It's coming soon. This is the Liberty Aventador, and it's ultra rare car. It has purple stars, which means it's going to be a season prize that you're going to be able to receive off of it, and that's going to be at the end of the season. This is going to be the one that shows up as purple star. The gold star version is going to be a different color type associated with it. But here's a car right here, the Huracan. You can purchase this. It has no stars associated with it. But then if you take a look at the Aventador SV, it has 4 stars with it. So the difference there is when you're dealing with a tier 1 and a tier 2 car, when you get them from a silver crate or even from the silver crates, potentially even the gold crate, because now we have tier 2 cars that have 3 stars on them. Those cars are going to be restricted with what you can do, so you can't change them, but the cars also have more fusion slots available to them. In this particular case, it gives you an additional 32 slots. RP bonus is 12%, and that's because there's 4 stars and 3% for each star. Now, one of the things about it you have to keep in mind is for tier 1 and 2, they're going to be 1-star cars if they come from the crates. For tier 3, they're going to be 2-star cars if they come from the crate. And for tiers 4 and tier 5, they're going to be 3-star cars. Now, if those cars are tier 1 or 2 and they have 1 star, you're required to customize them in order to keep the freshness up to date on it. If it's any higher than 1 star on tier 1 or 2, you have permanent freshness. You can drive it all the time and your freshness is going to be there. Same thing with tier 2. If it's 3 stars or more, then it's going to be considered additional function on it. It's going to always be the same. And you're going to not have to update it if it's more than 3 stars or more. And the same thing with tier 5 and tier 4. If it's 4 stars or 5 stars, then you have permanent freshness. But if it's 3 stars, you got to always add in that freshness on there. Now we're going to get out of the buy screen so we can go take a look and see what this Freshness is. But the first thing we're going to take a look back on this screen as it pops up is rare imports. So inside of rare imports, we actually get a chance to see right now we have the special Fast and Furious available to us. Those crates are limited time bonus. But now we have free crates, and currently I have a free crate. So at the end of this, I'm going to go do a drive and show you guys what that looks like for me. But you have your bronze crate. I'm on reward value 9 of 10. Then I have the silver crate. We currently have a 10 times drop on the CSR2 Sport, which is our current Prestige Cup car. And then you have the gold crate. Now the gold crate is always going to be 3-star to 5-star. The silver crate is always going to be 1-star to 5-star. So we're going to go ahead and pull our free crate. Let the music kick, and there we go. Up, I got cashed. When you get cash in the crates, it's always going to be $12,000. When you get cash from Daily Battle, it's always going to be $18,000. And look at that. I got the Corvette Stingray Z06 Nitro, Stage 6. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and jump back over here to my Chiron Red. So next screen we have here is going to be our upgrade. So our upgrade screen is where you actually go purchase your upgrades to put onto your car. Now the upgrades that you can buy is going to be upgrades for stage 1 through stage 5, and then stage 6 is given to you in a number of different ways throughout the game. Different things that you compete in, different things that you do, and different steps that you perform. So that's where you get your stage upgrades from. So as you can see here, I have pinks that's on the car. There's also blues that's on the car, and there's greens on the car. So when you look at these stage upgrades, if there's any fusions to be put onto the car, they're going to be a color icon. Now one thing that they've done that I'm not the biggest fan of, it always shows the highest fusion that can be added to the car instead of the lowest. So if you have 5 greens, 2 blues, and 1 red that can be put onto a car, you're only going to see the red icon instead of the greens. I miss that because a lot of times the greens and the blues I might actually need to put on the car, and I might be holding off on the epics to put on. So now my Jerry's Daily Bonus popped up, and I get a fusion, and I'll go ahead and select that. And that fusion is actually a Bugatti, a rare nitrous. I'm going to exit on out of there, going over next to the tune screen, and this is where you go to change your EV values. You slide the slider up and down in your nitro. That changes the value. So for example, right now I'm on 460 at 5.6 seconds. Now when I change it to 380 at 8.5, the number goes down. Same thing when I do the final drive. Currently the final drive is at 2.5. If I change it to 345, the number changes. Let's put it all the way up here, then you get a chance to see what the red numbers look like. And sometimes the slider is very finicky with you sliding on it, so you will release on the number and it will turn around and move on you. This particular time it didn't happen to me. Same thing with tires. You get your acceleration, that's your ACC, and your grip. You adjust that around. You can do a free test run or you can do dyno. One change I wish they would do with the test run is when you click the free test run, it stopped asking you to confirm, because I can understand confirming for the $250 for the tier 5 dyno because you're spending money, but when you're doing a free test run, it should just be that, a free test run. And just pop on up and start the race on it for you. Another change would be nice if we can actually put inside there a change to make it a quarter mile instead of a half mile. That's important for races for tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 cars that only do the quarter mile, and you want to do your dyno for that. Now for the other style races outside of live, so live races is always based off of your tier. So if you're tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 is always a quarter mile. And if you're racing tier 4, tier 5 is going to be a half mile. So it would be nice if you can quickly tune your car for those different tiers. Next up, we're going to take a look at is your customize screen. So when you go in here, because this car has permanent freshness, you can't change anything about it but your license plate. So you can click back here, type in whatever message that you want, spend the $20,000, boom. That's for tier 5 is $20,000. It gets much lower for lower tier cars. But I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like for a car that can be customized. Now one thing you may notice also is on this screen previously, Apologize for that. The customize screen is grayed out, and if you click on the arrow at the top, it shows you freshness is 0. So once you click on customize, you can now customize your livery, change it with different patterns, whatever type you want. Now when I get into doing this, I typically make changes to the car where it's weird, it's wacky, it's crazy, but I always buy whatever's free. I always want to spend the least on getting that extra points out of it. Now the points are important because they can add up over a number of races. So if you turn around and do 15 races or more, it's worth spending extra money to make the changes to your car, because at the end of the day, you get that extra point, and the points can add up for your crew. So anybody that's struggling with points inside the game, you can always turn around and do this and make sure that you do it with every car. And when you do that, you want to make sure that you get your 10% freshness bonus on every single car that you drive, because it doesn't add up for 1 or 2 races, but when you're doing 15, 20, 30, 50 races, that extra 10 points can add up, especially for people who don't play the game enough. So every little bit can help. And that's a quick walkthrough on the game, so you can see what the different functions are and how the different features are. Now let's go ahead and do a quick drive and do my daily race, the daily battle race. So now the loading screen loads up. I slide on over to the daily battle. I'm currently on race 1885. Hit the go race button. Let's see what car I get to race in this time. And the car that shows up is the LaFerrari. And I'm going to race against Marcus. Alrighty, so now this is a cool graphic that they added in a couple updates ago. It shows you what the manufacturer is, the name of the car, and says daily battle. So let's go ahead and try to get a perfect start. Up, slow start. This car is actually pretty easy to drive in the daily battle, so you can press nitro as soon as you get started, or you can press it all the way out to 2nd or 3rd gear. Now, one of the things I like to do with my cars is when I race them, I like to collect as much money as I can, because more money means that you can buy more upgrades and do more things with your cars. So I always like to try to get my perfect start when possible. I got me a rare engine for my Lamborghini, and that's totally cool. Now, as you can see, I have a garage that I can click on here. One of the recent changes that they made in the game is that they allow us not to have to go back to this loading screen to the garage and then the loading screen back to the map to go back and do another race. So I'm going to go ahead and end the walkthrough here for now. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and let me know. Other than that, keep racing, have fun. CSR, I'm out.